I'm Dennis Gage. Thanks for tuning in to My Classic Car. I'm a certified car nut. Well, this week we're in the very northwestern corner of Illinois in scenic Joe Davies County, where I was born and raised, to visit Joe Spagnoli and check out a couple of his ultra-rare Oldsmobile Indy pace cars. Now, as the 70s waned, body sizes were still getting bigger, but performance was going the other direction big time. That wasn't the case for these babies, though, because they were custom built by the factory to be particularly beefy for their role as pace cars. But what I think is really cool about these cars are the other custom factory mods that were done on them so these very units could be used for the parade lap of the winner of the Indy 500. Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm great.
Beautiful day down on the farm here.
Another great day in Galena.
Another great day. Boy, it is pretty out here. I do love it. It's coming home for me. Well, you got some wild cars here. But this 77 Olds pace car is, when I saw a picture of this, you and I were talking, you have all these great cars and stuff, but this was arguably one of the funkiest cars you have. I mean, this was not really a great time for American automobiles. Late 70s, early 80s. It was sort of a dark time, both style and performance.
Absolutely.
But they built kind of an interesting car here.
Well, they got the distinction of getting to build the actual pace car for 1977. So the removable roof is quite unique to the car.
Yeah, well, kind of all around, this thing is it's a really different looking car, and this is the one that took the parade lap, right?
Absolutely. We can prove that this is pace car number 1 because pace car number 2 is owned by the Indy Museum.
And there are only 2. Well, that would sort of narrow it down, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, like you say, I mean, the funkiest thing about this car, and again, this body, they've grown pretty big by then, and this was, when you talk about your father's Oldsmobile, this is kind of what you were talking about, the body style and everything.
Absolutely.
But they really did something here in changing that whole look and feel with what they did in the roof. What all happened here?
You take off that removable roof, it includes the back quarter sections of the windows, and it really obviously changes the whole look of the car. It makes it really pretty neat. Removable rear window. Somebody could sit up on the deck back there, rest their arms up on the spoiler to take their victory lap. It's actually a pretty great looking design with the roof on.
With the roof off, it is pretty good. I really kind of like it. And even with this one, with the roof on, because it had that glass roof, it made it kind of cool. And you could buy, in 77, you could buy a replica pace car.
Absolutely.
But it didn't have any, it was solid roof, solid hard top.
Back to only 2.
Back to only 2. Pretty funky, very 70s velour interior here too, Joe.
Combination of deluxe cloth / velour.
And was that unique to the pace car, or did the replicas have this too?
No, they had it, but the bucket seats and this console from a 73, 74 Oldsmobile is unique to the car.
And a 200-mile-an-hour speedometer?
I don't think it'll go quite that fast, but they only made 2 of those as well.
Made everything impaired. Well, these were so, the lines on these by 77 were just so square. I mean, these things were like big rectangles.
They were, but I think they did a great job with the 2-tone color combination and following those body lines to make the car look nice.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, this thing now, and these, like I said, this was not the most attractive car GM ever built, but dressed up this way, this is a pretty slick looking machine.
Yeah, I think so. I think they did. I think they actually got it right. They had a lot of time to work on this particular car. Probably started on it about a year before the race.
Now, pace cars and the real pace cars don't have VINs, is that right?
Yeah, they weren't supposed to get into the hands of the general public, but I was lucky enough to know the family of an Oldsmobile dealership that owned this car, and that was how I obtained it, was through their family.
And it actually dropped out of sight, right? I mean, you as an old guy didn't even know where this car was.
Nobody had seen the car in over 20 years.
In 77, we also had some, really detuned little V8 in there. What do we have under the hood?
Well, this one's pretty unique. It's got hand-built 403 from the factory with a lot of custom modifications to be able to get up to those high speeds to handle the track at Indy.
Wow, a lot of chrome, too.
Yeah, this was all built especially for the car. Notice the valve covers with the dual chrome breathers on each side, too, help the motor breathe a lot better. It has an aluminum intake manifold that was exclusive to the W31 in 1970. So they did whatever they can to bring some of the old technology and performance into the 1977 year.
So how does she, I mean, she runs, right?
She runs great, actually. It's not the fastest thing off the line, but when it gets up to speed, it really runs smooth. And it was built for those higher speeds at Indy.
Yeah, and it's a kind of a, these were big Luxo cruisers anyway. Beautiful day. What do you say we take it out and give it a little exercise?
If you're ready to take a risk, so am I.
Let's take a risk.
All right.
All right. Coming up, we'll go for a ride in the '77 Olds pace car, but first we'll look at the latest muscle car components